Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and I couldn't be more excited to be making this video for you guys because first of all, I told you guys in the last video that I made for Pinball, which was on the Legend Snoopy edition over there, that I had two more machines coming into this area that were pinball related. And I told you guys one was a real one and one was a full out virtual pinball machine, which is supposed to come around September, which is still the plans. And I told you guys that my real pinball machine that I wanted, first of all, I wanted you guys to take guesses, and there was a few people, one person that I saw that did comment correctly. He definitely watches my channel pretty well. Shout out to him because he knows that I'm a huge Disney fan and I do a lot of Disney content on this channel, so surprise. This would be the pinball machine that I picked, and we'll get more into that as we talk about things in this video. But I also told you guys that I had no plans to purchase one of these in a while until the other one, because, you know, these things are not cheap. And not only that, but you're looking at the collector's edition, which we're going to be talking about here, which is even more expensive than the regular model. However, I had to get more involved when I found one of these locally. And considering the condition of this thing that we're going to be talking about, it was a no-brainer. And I got this from Yvonne from Pinfest in Allentown. He's really popular in the community, so he was great. He's the one that delivered this machine to me. He did a lot of the heavy lifting himself, you know, bringing it down my staircase and everything. He was fantastic. I helped him when I could. But he basically, you know, put this machine in here for me. We turned it on, played a couple of games, and he was fantastic from start of communication all the way to the end of when I got this machine. And not only that, but a fair deal on the price. I mean, this CE model that I got here, based on its low plays, I got it even less than what it would cost if I got the regular LE model. So obviously it was a no-brainer. So that's why I decided to hop in on this, because I knew this was the machine I was going to get eventually, and I told you guys I was going to wait a few months you know, to save up for it, and it was going to come towards the end of the year. But I didn't expect to get a deal like that on one of these, especially locally to me, where I didn't have to worry about it. And he delivered it to me as well. So and didn't have to pay extra for shipping or anything. He came here and dropped it off and everything and set it up. So it was all in all a fantastic deal and opportunity to get this in the home. But there was a lot of work to get this in here, and he knows what I'm talking about if he's watching this video. So we definitely got some things to talk about in this video on how I got this in here, about the CE model, about this being my first real pinball machine. The last thing I'll leave you guys with before we wrap up and start this video with this intro that's going on too long is the fact that I was able to sell a few machines that I was talking about in my other video to get this machine. Those machines that I technically sold were supposed to be to pay for the other machine I was talking about, the full-on virtual pinball machine that I'm supposed to get in September. So I'm going to have to look around the house here and see what machines I want to part with or stuff I want to part with to kind of recoup most of that money and work like crazy over the next couple of months if possible. Maybe get lucky with some YouTube videos going off and stuff. So all your support is definitely appreciated. Liking the video, commenting on this video, you know, all the sorts of things. Subscribing if you're not already subscribed, so I can get that third machine in here because, or that third pinball machine in here because this was obviously unexpected. But it was a deal that I couldn't pass up. So I had to hop in on it. And, you know, now we have a lot of work to do between now and September to get where I want to be back to get that other machine. But either way, guys, we have a lot to talk about. That's enough rambling on this intro. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start off with a tour of the machine that we have here. First of all, the machine, I'm getting it in here. Getting it in here was a...
Would you look at that? It's a collector's edition.
Hey, there it is. She's letting me know. So basically, there's a camera that we're going to talk about that's in the game that when it sees someone moving, it starts doing, you know, saying random things like that. But as you can see, this thing was a real pain to get in here into the basement. My ceilings are not that tall. The basement is unfinished. You guys know this if you watch my channel. So getting it in here was insanely ridiculous, you know, to finagle it in here. And as you can tell, the CE model comes with a really cool topper, and unfortunately, it's sitting right here on the floor, and it's like a fireworks show that kind of lights up, and it has like fiber optics on it that light up there, as you guys can see with these things right here. I'm going to have to obviously put that in storage because there's no chance that it fits up there. Even though I do have a little bit of room up there, it is not enough room to fit that, and you can see half of it is in and half of it is out, so there's no way for it to actually fit in there. But either way, I'd rather not use that topper than not have this machine at all. And it's not just this machine. Almost every newer machine out there, whether it's from Stern or Jersey Jack, is going to be this size. It's going to be about 76 inches. And theoretically, you would want something even higher than what I have, even though I have 77, 78 inches right now in there, which is why I have a little bit of clearance up there. When you want to lift the playfield and stuff, when you want to fix things, if you want to lift it all the way, I'm still going to have issues with this being in the way. I'm going to have to, knock on wood, this is a newer machine, so hopefully it doesn't happen for a while. You could lift the playfield a little bit and use the stick that's inside that kind of holds it up in position, so that would be the first thing. But if you have to get all the way in the back for something that's broken and you have to lift this playfield, I'm going to have two people, essentially one person holding the playfield up against that so it doesn't fall, and then working on it. But again, you got to deal with the space that you have. It was either that or never own a real pinball machine because I can't create more ceiling height. But word of advice, you definitely need a good 77, 78 inches at the minimum to fit these machines. But not only that, probably like 81, 82 if you want the playfield to be able to sit straight up and not hit anything in your ceiling. So hopefully that doesn't happen to me for a while, because like I mentioned, this collector's edition that I got here is basically in new condition when he sold it to me. There was only 113 plays on the machine, and you can tell it's new. I mean, everything about it. I mean, you can see everything looks new. The chrome legs even came in the bag, so they had everything set up. Look at the artwork here. Everything looks in brand new condition here. First of all, I really, really like the artwork, which we'll get into more on my final thoughts with the controversy of this machine that a lot of people talk about when it comes to, you know, it not being Toy Story 1 or 2 like a lot of people want, which we'll talk about in my wrap-up thoughts, because I definitely have some thoughts about that. But look at this artwork here on the side. Everything is represented, and I love that on the SE model, because this artwork is obviously specific to the collector's edition. It's different when you have the LE model. But I love that Woody and Buzz are right there in the front as well. Now, the SE model has a couple of features. It has callouts throughout the game, more callouts throughout the game that you'll hear from Bo-Peep, and a couple from Buzz, I believe, that also happen throughout. That's one of the things. The second thing that you get is this amazing plunger right here. This is the Pixar ball that we're all very familiar with, so you get that on the collector's edition. You have, obviously, this signed by everyone who made the game, including Jersey Jack himself, which I think is really cool to have a plaque like that. You also get the side art, so you see the art right here on the side. That's the art that's kind of running through on the side there, so that's really cool. Obviously, it has it on both sides. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any artwork on the side at all, on the rails there. It would just be, you know, blank if it was the LE model. The other thing that you have on this as well, being the collector's edition model, is the black glass there, as you can tell, is mirrored. So you can see me in the mirror. If you're looking there closely, I'm waving back. So it's a mirror type back glass that a lot of people like when they do these. So that's really cool. And it has like specific artwork that's obviously different on this than the regular one. So again, and there's the collector's edition. I have number 275 out of 1,000. As you can see there, collector's edition. You got the red trim molding as opposed to the blue, and the red lock bar. It's like the other LE model is blue, so this looks fantastic. And I have seen an LE in person that also looks amazing. Don't get me wrong, because I've seen it when I went to the arcade that I did a video for you guys when I went to Asbury Park, so I know what they look like. And then the other thing is you get the underglow on the bottom. Let me turn off the lights a little bit just for a second here, so you guys can see. See the underglow on the bottom there? That is the red underglow in the machine. So has a nice underglow, which is pretty cool. That does not come on the LE model. There's no underglow. It has 450 LEDs as opposed to, I think it's 300 or 350 on the LE model. So like I said, there's definitely some nice features on the regular, you know, if the LE model was cheaper than this one, I would have obviously gotten that. But the fact that this one was cheaper at a better deal than the LE model made this an easy choice. I mean, especially when I know I'm only going to have one pinball machine, you know, one real pinball machine in this house for the very foreseeable future. One, because of how expensive they are, but two, because as you can see, I just don't have the room to have anything else. Obviously, we'll get into that more in a second because I have some opinions for you guys that I'd like to hear you guys. But, you know, at the most I could fit two, but in this corner here is where the virtual pinball machine is going to go. It's basically almost similar size to this, not as thick, but it has the same kind of landscape to it. That's going to go right here in the corner. So, yeah, I could fit another real pinball machine, but then I wouldn't be able to fit the virtual pinball machine at its full size. So obviously I'd rather have a full virtual pinball machine with all the toys and everything that lets me play hundreds of tables before just having 2 real pinball machines and just an at games in the middle. I'd rather go the other route. But anyway, since this is going to be my only one, having the SD model just worked out in its favor so much. One of the other things that this thing came with, which is a $650 value, which makes this deal even better, is this has an LED mod. So if you guys look closely here on the side, you can see this black bar right here, right across the rail there, going all the way to the top. It has it on both sides. You can see that it's screwed into the side of the rails there. See that? Right across. Those LEDs that are kind of going. That is game tied. It works with the games. Whatever the game lights are doing, it's doing, as you can see right now. But those were added by, whoever had this machine before. I think it's from Pinscape. I forget the exact name of the mod right now. I'll put it up on the title of this in the video. But it adds more LED lights to really make the light show amazing. And you guys will see when I show you guys some gameplay. The light show on this machine was already insane because, like I said, I saw the LED model before. But with this mod that this guy did, and that's a $650 value, and something I would have never done, to be honest, because the light show was already really good. Yes, this is much better, because now there's even more lights, and the whole playfield lights up beautifully. But $650 I wouldn't have probably done to this machine. I would have never even knew what it looked like without it. But now that I see it, it definitely is amazing, and it really adds more lights to it and just elevates the experience. So the fact that it was included as well just makes the machine that much better and that much of a better value. So really, really cool. So speaking of the opinion that I needed before we dive into more about this machine, you guys can see when you come into the basement, you have Toy Story first. You can see how that looks like. You can see the At Games is sitting right here in the middle, and it has to be in the middle in its position because, as you can see, I have a pipe in the way. So if I put any other machine in here, if it wasn't for the fact that I had an At Games, if I put like another real one here, it would never work because I would lose all this space essentially, and I wouldn't be able to ever fit 3. It would only be 2 then because this pipe would be in the way. So the only reason I can technically fit 3 is because the one in the middle is At Games, and as you can see, because of the way the machine is designed and it's not as tall as real machines, I can move Snoopy up to here and kind of gain like 8 inches from over here from all this part of the machine and still fit a full size right here next to her from my other virtual pinball machine. So it worked out perfectly by accident because that's not something I kind of figured until I got these in house. So it worked out great. But my question to you guys is, as you can see, I know some people do this differently, so I'd love to hear what you guys think. When you look at these machines on the corner, you can see that this one is a little bit more forward than the At Games one. So my first question is, do you guys think I should move the Snoopy up a notch, like put it here instead on this wood, like in front, and kind of make it more even, as opposed to not as even there? So it's a little bit more even with the Toy Story, and it pushes it more forward, so it's a little bit more even with the front of Toy Stories. You can see it's not even right now, and make it a little bit more even. The way that it's going to look like in the future, just so you guys are aware, if it changes the opinion in any way, this Stranger Things that I have out, and it's so far out from the wall, is to give me an idea on how far out the big machine is going to come. So this is how far out the big machine is going to come, which is essentially pretty similar to what Toy Story is, a little bit shorter, as you can see. So if I move the At Games forward, that means that it's going to be on par with Toy Story, which is fine, and there'll be some room in the back, or at least really close to the Toy Story, maybe a little bit, couple of inches behind, but closer than what it is now. And then it will be a lot closer to the one coming in. The only thing that might look a little weird, I don't know if it matters, and that's what I'm looking for opinions on, is even though it's going to match the Toy Story back box, and At Games will be kind of even with it, the one here will not be even with either one. Because this one, the only way it's going to fit is obviously to push it up against the wall as far as it can go. So if I push it up against the wall, that's how it's going to fit, and then it's going to come up to here. So even though they're all going to be semi-even with each other, if I move the At Games up, you'll have 2 back boxes that are kind of even with each other, and then this one will be a few inches back that will make it not as even with the rest. So I can either not give a crap and leave it the way it is and leave At Games a few inches back, leave the back glass exactly where it is, and leave this one coming out a little bit further than At Games as well, and push it all the way back. Or I can move At Games forward, make them a little bit more even with each other in the front, and the back glass for these two will be even, but that one will be further back when it comes in. So leave your questions down, or your opinions down below on how you think I should organize this based on my small space that I'm working with here to put these up. So let me know. But that's enough of that. The other thing I got to talk about on this machine before we dive into some gameplay that was really crazy is the Invisiglass on here. Now, like I said, I saw the LE model in the place, so I kind of knew this already. But now that I've had a chance to kind of see it, especially with all these added lights and stuff, and really take advantage of it, it really is insane. When you look at this glass, and I don't know if it's coming across in the video, it really does look like you're looking through an invisible glass. Like it looks like I can grab these toys and literally just pick them off the glass. That's how crazy it is, because it looks that good with this thing. It looks so good. I don't know what else to say. I know it's not going to probably come across as good in the video, but it looks like it's a see-through piece of glass, and it looks fantastic. The Invisi Shield that a lot of these companies are using on pinball machines, when they use it, is amazing, and it definitely helps with just looking at like what it looks like see-through glass, as opposed to, you know, plexiglass that sometimes adds some fuzziness to the playfield. But it looks amazing, and I definitely had to point that out. Now, as far as mods go in the future for this thing, I won't be doing any crazy mods or anything like that. I will be doing a video separately from this that will show you guys some mods I'll be doing, but it will be very simple things. One of the things that this thing has, as you can see around the playfield, is characters. Kind of posted on the playfields. You see Toy Story and Woody sitting back there, which is cool. These already came on the machine as is, and it actually came with 3 more. You got Jesse here and stuff. This one I'm not going to use, so this one's going to go away. These 2 I'm going to use and put on the playfield because it came with it. So this came with the machine. But I also got a couple of more characters that are just not represented in here that I wanted to add, and there are some spots to put them, like right here, for example, and one right there. So I got a couple of characters to, you know, make the playfield a little bit cooler with characters, so we'll do that as a mod, and then a couple of other mods that I'll let you guys know about once I do the video. But it ain't going to be anything that crazy because, first of all, I just got this machine, and second of all, I don't think this machine needs much of anything. We got some music. So yeah, I don't think I'll be doing any crazy mods or anything like that for the foreseeable future, maybe never, because I think the machine looks perfect as is. I'm just adding a couple of toys to the playfield because I feel like I could use a couple more for the empty spots that it has. But, and then a couple of other small things that I'll be adding to the machine that you guys will see in the video, but nothing too crazy. But look forward to that video because there's still some pretty cool stuff, even if it's, you know, very basic modding. So after all that talking here and after showing you guys, you know, everything that's going on, let's go ahead and dive into some gameplay. Let's go ahead and also show you the inside of the coin door for those of you guys who have never seen it. So we got the keys here. We can go ahead and open the coin door here. I have never had a real pinball machine, so this is going to be interesting on how this works out for me. There are people in the area that can help you that I've already been referred to by Jersey Jack if there was ever an issue with the machine and I couldn't fix it myself or parts got swapped out. So there are people in the area that you can count on to kind of come help you if you need to and you can't figure it out, so that's good to know. But you can see as soon as the coin door is open, this thing has the diagnostic menu that's insane. So as soon as you power the machine on, you'll know immediately if something is wrong or something's not working because the machine will tell you. So as long as you don't see any errors on the screen, you're probably in really good shape. So that's obviously good. This is the coin door, and the coin door has these 4 buttons sitting right here, and this is how you go through the menu. So you can see the coin door is open. If I hit the black button there, you can see the full menu. You can update the software from here, which I've already done by going through the full menu. And then you hit enter with the black button as well. And then you can kind of scroll through this where you can do the price adjustment. You can change the game settings, you know, look at high scores and reset the high scores, which I did when I got it. So it's all my high scores instead of the person's previous ones. That's where you can do the software update, as you can see there, change the date and time, view the manual. You can even do difficulty presets based on what you want, install medium, easy, or hard, or extra hard. So it changes the settings and kind of presets them to be extra hard or easy and stuff like that, which is cool. You also have the reports, so you can take a look at the event logs, which if you miss any errors or stuff like that, you can see all the events, and you can see, hey, the coin door was open, hey, the game was active, the ball count, the shot attempt, you know, everything that was started. So the event log here is just insane on everything. So the troubleshooting in here makes it really easy to see exactly what's wrong. If there was anything wrong, but the fact that this machine only has 130 plays or 120 plays currently, even with the plays I had, which you can see on this screen as well by looking at the audits, I believe. If we scroll down here, yep, you can see game started 136, game started 136, games played 118. So you can see here that the machine is really new. So the hope is that, you know, you don't have to do anything insane. And this machine will last me for a long time before anything breaks down, knock on wood, and I'll be good to go for a very long time. Because this is obviously meant to be an arcade, and I'm going to be using it at home. So it's not going to get anywhere near the abuse that it gets in the arcade. So this should hopefully last me with some cleaning that I'll be doing on the playfield and stuff and keeping it maintenance up. but hopefully the parts and stuff all last for a very long time. But it is cool that you have Jersey Jack customer service, which I hear is really good. I've actually talked to them already and know that, you know, it's an option, and they're ready to call and help you out and anything you need, which is good. Which is why I only like to buy new machines and not old arcade machines, because old arcade machines are a pain because you have no one to call anymore and you have no one to rely to. You have to, you know, do everything yourself. So I will never get real arcades that are not brand new. That's why you see I had a big Buck Hunter and stuff like that before, because, you know, that's kind of what I wanted. If I'm going to get a new machine, it's going to be one that I know I can rely on support from a company. If I need to swap out parts and stuff, I don't want to be dealing with that. And not that I would want any more real arcades in this house. Anyway, I got the two that I wanted, being Golden Tee and Big Buck Hunter being the two main ones. And now I got my pinball machine. So I feel like I got the main ones covered that I ever wanted in the home. Everything else could be, you know, smaller arcades, like, you know, at games or arcade one-ups that I have, or just, you know, machines that you build yourself that are PC based, that because I can handle PCs all day long, stuff like that. But anyway, this is the inside of the machine here. You can see there's a lot going on underneath the playfield, but everything is wired up pretty nicely. And this is the coin box that it comes with. So if you ever get this machine, you can lift this up out of here really easily. This is where the coins slide in if you ever take coins in here. And this is where the accessories were as well. So there's a pamphlet in here, some accessories like those figures that I just showed you that were in here. They give you some extra bands as well on the machine. So if you ever need to, because eventually you'll have to swap out the rubbers on the flippers and stuff like that. So there's 3 flippers. There's these 2 and the one over here. And sometimes you'll have to swap out these white flippers as well from the bumpers. So either way, they give you a few extra ones in that box as well, which is cool that was included. There's even a headphone jack on here in the front, which you can connect headphones to. Bluetooth as well, and raise the volume up and down right from here if you want to play on Bluetooth mode and, you know, be out of there. Oh, and I forgot to get out of that menu by hitting the escape button. There we go. So that kind of covers a good overview of the machine. Now, there is a lot more to talk about, of course, and I'll talk about it throughout the gameplay here. Now, don't expect anything crazy because I'm not a great pinball player. This is my first real pinball machine. All I've played before in the last couple years is virtual pinball up until recently. So this is not going to be an exercise in showing you good pinball gameplay. I just want to show you the fancy lights and everything. So let's do it. So I'm going to try to stay out of your way here as we're going through here on the gameplay. So we go ahead and hit the start button, of course.
Hey, buddy, you made it.
Let's lower the volume there a little bit with the volume button on the front that I just showed you, so it's not super loud. This thing is loud as hell too, by the way. The speakers on this thing are crazy loud. I can't put it over 40, otherwise it just blows the whole house up. But you can see here that it gives you everything on the screen of what you're doing. You can see the giant tablet that a lot of people talk about on the front there. And when you're playing a game, everything is lit up, ready to go. And this kind of tells you exactly what's going on. You can see the skill shot there in the corner, which I've only hit in one so far. And then you got everything up here. The whole point of this game, for you guys who have not heard of this game, is that it is a carnival theme. That's kind of the whole point of this, and matches Toy Story 4. And the idea is that you're playing a bunch of carnival games and stuff, which I think is a super fun idea. And you have to go through and complete 7 scenes. So you can see on the playfield here, you got Road Trip Multi-Ball, you got Buzz Multi-Ball, Rescue Forky, Carnival Multi-Ball, Super Spinners, Duke Kaboom, and Bo-Peep Loops. So you have to finish those 7 scenes to essentially meet at the carousel, which is the finale of the Toy Story 4 film. So you're kind of going through, you'll see some movie clips on here in the front on the playfield in a minute, and you're going through the movie essentially and trying to get to that carousel by completing those 7 scenes, by playing carnival games and doing all that kinds of stuff, which I think is a super fun theme and really easy to get people involved who have never played pinball. Like when my friends and family come over, they're going to love the Toy Story theme because everybody knows it, and you know, easy gameplay to play. A lot of people have said that this isn't the hardest pinball game ever. I can guarantee you that I won't beat this game for at least a couple of years because, like I said, I'm brand new at this. And even if I did, I feel like I would still have fun with this forever. I don't think this will ever leave my collection ever, unless if they do some super duper Disney themed pinball machine one day, which I doubt, that overcomes this, because Toy Story is my favorite, you know, Pixar movie of all time. So it just matches me perfectly. So anyway, let's hit our first ball, shall we? All right, so you got the top bumpers there going off, as you can see. They're all going crazy. The shaker motor, there's a shaker motor on here as well, so you can feel it. Start a car, you can start the carnival mode like I just did by going on the left ramp. You got to... Ooh, Duke Kaboom is open. Oh, man, you saw that pop up on the playfield? I missed Duke Kaboom. That's like a jump shot that goes from the top there, and I miss it. Which was unfortunate. If I hold the ball there, Duke Kaboom right there in the middle of the playfield would have been awesome to hit. It basically, one of the cool things about this game is that the ball jumps in the air and goes through that Star Adventure up there in the corner, which is crazy. So I actually only have 5 shots to hit the lit targets. So I have to hit either the left side here, or I have to hit any of the targets that are kind of lit right now. So, and they'll always tell you up there what to do. But oh, I missed that. Gabby, I hit her. The whole table shook too, which is cool. You saw Gabby kind of pop up on the playfield there, smacked her right in the face and got my points. Oh, damn it. I threw that right there and it came right back at me. That was not good. Not good. That was ball 1. Oh, I forgot about the skill shot too. I wasn't paying attention. Because I definitely hit that too hard for me to get a skill shot. Oh, missed it. No way. I tried to grab it with the flippers and kind of put it where I wanted to. And we'll talk about the toys on the playfield right after this game. I wanted to show you guys some gameplay, but we'll definitely talk about some of the stuff. Like I said, I'm new to pinball, so I don't know all the terminology and everything, but for everything. But that doesn't stop anything. All right, here's another carnival mode that we just started. We got to hit the... shoot the left ramp. That's 1. We hit one of those carnival modes. That's 2. Oh, I dropped it. Damn it. I was trying to get it to the other flipper and I messed up. I was so close. Now, one of the cool things about this game, and you can see a picture of me right now, is that when you finish, you of course enter the high score because it tells you got the high score of the game. You use the flippers to kind of maneuver your name and stuff like that and to scroll through. And what I really like about this game that I think is pretty unique to a pinball machine, at least the ones I've played in the arcade, is that it has a camera built into the center. And it will take pictures of you in a second. So you can see here, even though it has one of me already that I took during gameplay, as soon as I hit enter here and I scroll through all the way to the side here, now that I'm done spelling my name, it saves all high scores. And I can hit confirm. It will take a picture. I could be like, there you go. There's my picture, and it will show you today's high score. Which is really cool because when people go by the machine, it will show you, hey, this person got the high score, this person hit the most Gabby, this person did the most jumps. It goes through everything that you can think of. But let me show you guys a little bit of the playfield here real quick that I was talking about before. So you can see here on the playfield, one of the things that pops up here is Gabby, like you guys saw me hit. So that's like a toy that pops up, so that's pretty cool. You got the Yes, I Canada that pops up and you have to hit the ball and you only get 1 shot, which is really cool when it pops up. 1 opportunity. If you miss, you miss, and it goes back down. And if you hit it, the ball jumps in the air and goes through the Star Adventures area right here and kind of does a whole entire loop and comes out the other way. It's such a satisfying shot to make because you only get that 1 shot and you get a good amount of points. And, you know, you get to run through there. It's obviously part of the movie where he goes on his bicycle and is trying to do these tricks, but most of the time he fails, but eventually sometimes he makes it in that movie. And that's kind of what happens here. You got 1 shot. You got those pop-up bumpers that kind of block your shot half the time that pop up as posts and they kind of get in your way. So if you don't hit it directly in the center, it ain't going to work. But yeah, it's really fun with that shot. And hitting Gabby, of course, hitting an actual toy in the face is always fun. And she pops down when you hit her once, which is cool. So those are the toys, the 2 main toys that are technically on there. You got the bumpers here to say Forky here on the side that you have to spell out. You got this spinner. This is a spinner that basically when it starts spinning and the ball goes over here, it awards something to you, random award, whether it be a Duke Kaboom, a kickback, an extra ball, stuff like that are on here. And the ball, you have to be ready to go in any direction because that's what spinners do in games that have spinners, is that kind of thing happens. You got this little cabinet cabaret that you can go into and basically get rewards as well. You got the side bumpers, as you can see here. Big thing on the top is you got these 4 pop bumpers here on the top that you can get a lot of points from. You got the skill shot there in the corner, so you have to hit the skill shot. You can see it kind of blinking right there, and you have to hit it right through here to get the skill shot. Like I said, this top areas you get into by hitting that ball. You do kaboom, which is awesome. And then the main thing that's taking up a lot of room that people always talk about with this machine is this gigantic tablet. I do think that it's cool because it's hard to look at the top of the playfield or the top of the screen when you're actually playing. But in this game in particular, it's really easy to just kind of hold the ball with the flippers when you're when you're playing pinball and kind of just see that screen in the corner of your eye, and it will go through the carnival modes. I feel like that screen was needed because of the justice of this game that you're going through and playing all those carnival games like you just saw. Could they have put that on the main screen? Obviously, but I think it's fun to see it on there. They do some cool things with it. I like the fact that it's all lit up in LEDs. And you also get to play Tiki mode on there, basically virtual pinball built into this. I probably won't be able to show you in this video because you have to do certain things. And like I said, I'm still new to pinball, so we'll play one more time and see what happens. But essentially, you get to play Tiki multi-ball. I did do it. I showed you guys it when I went to the arcade. I didn't show you it, but I actually did it in the arcade when I played the LE edition by accident when I was learning the game. But here you get to actually use the flippers, and you still feel the pop bumpers hit in the game. And they have Tiki multi-ball that you can play a virtual pinball machine that was kind of in the movie and kind of play it on the screen. So that's also a pretty cool thing that they did. So to me, I know we'll talk about it more at the end of what people have been saying about this machine, but I'm having a ton of fun. That's kind of, the different ramps and different things. They have like toys everywhere, like I talked about. But super, super fun. But let me go ahead. This video's gone on long enough. Let's go ahead and get into my final thoughts of this machine so far. All right, guys, so that's an overview of the machine itself on Toy Story 4. The collector's edition here shows you guys some gameplay there. More gameplay will come in future videos, like when I do the modding video and anytime I want to do something with this machine. So that won't be the last time you see gameplay. I just wanted to give you a quick gameplay demonstration. As I get better at this game, I'll be able to do another gameplay video and kind of show you specific modes like the Tiki Party mode. But, I'm still learning the game, learning how to do shots accurately and stuff like that, and things take time. But at least you got a feel for what the game could look like. Now, this game gets a lot of hate online from people who don't actually own it, or people who just don't want to own it, or people who just don't like it. Because I think the main reason is 2 things. The collector's edition and the game has gone up in price since the last time Jersey Jack made a game, and they don't feel like the price is justified. And then the second thing is that a lot of people say there's just not as many toys on this machine as compared to other pinball machines. Like Godzilla, which is a golden standard right now, has that building that collapses and stuff, which is really just insane, and that's how multi-ball kind of starts out and stuff. So does this machine have as many toys as some other ones out there, or even as cool of a toy like that Godzilla Premium? No, I think the Godzilla Premium, with the tower kind of falling, is obviously a really cool thing to see in pinball. But obviously, it's not this game. That doesn't mean that there's not any toys on here. It just means that maybe there's not as many as other machines, and that point is valid. But for me, not something I necessarily care about. Some tables are going to have more toys than others. What I care about is the theme something that I like? Is the game fun? Is it going to attract people when they come over to have fun? And having the Toy Story theme, not only is it, like I said, my favorite Pixar film, but it also means that it's going to drive people who come over and be like, oh my God, I know Toy Story. I want to play Toy Story. That's awesome. And it's going to drive it. Like Godzilla, I never really liked Godzilla. I know I looked at it a lot because I know it's the most popular game out there and it's rated #1 on Pinside. But I just knew the theme wasn't going to do anything for me. And it's what I'm going to stare at a lot. It's what I'm going to tell people, hey, I've had Godzilla at home. Most of the people who come here or are my friends are not going to care about it as much. And they're not going to be like, oh my God, you have a Toy Story pinball. They're not going to do that to Godzilla. They're going to say it's cool because it's freaking a pinball machine in your house. But they're not going to be attracted to the Godzilla theme as much as Toy Story, which is exactly how I fall into this. And so that's why I leaned into Toy Story more. And also, I leaned into a machine that wasn't already emulated, on a machine like a virtual pinball machine that I'm going to get, because if I'm going to spend all this money, I at least want for now for it not to be emulated. Like, I'm not going to go get an Attack from Mars when they've had that game perfectly emulated, or not perfectly, but very close to being similar to what you would get out of a real pinball machine, as close as you can in the virtual pinball world, where the game's like 80-85% similar. So I'm not going to get that game and have that sitting side by side. I'd rather have something that doesn't really exist. And that also made me go onto this direction. I thought about a Stranger Things from Stern, but what leaned me into this one a little bit more was just the Toy Story theme, and then the fact that I found this locally, and how cheap I got it for compared to what the prices were for the CE model. So both of those things kind of helped. But There's plenty of people out there who love this game just like me. The people who own it seem to love it. It just seems to get a lot of flack on Pinside because, you know, like I said, the pricing and not as many toys as people wanted. And the other big main factor that I almost forgot to mention is, of course, that it's only based on Toy Story 4. I think that's probably the #1 reason people complain. If this was actually based on all 4 movies, 1 through 4, where it had clips from the movies from all 4, it would be awesome. And I would love that too. Don't get me wrong. My favorite, the ones that I watched as a kid, were obviously 1 and 2, not 3 and 4. I love them all for different reasons, but the childhood ones are 1 and 2. So would I have loved to see a table based on Toy Story 1 instead of Toy Story 4? Absolutely. Would I have loved them to do 1 through 4 instead of just 4? Absolutely. But for whatever reason, they didn't do that. At the end of the day, this is still Toy Story. I still hear Buzz. They still have the voiceover work from Tim Allen that's actually doing the voiceover here, and from Bo-Peep. Or actually, I think the voiceover is actually done by his brother, from what I heard. That sounds just like him. But either way, you guys heard it. It sounds really, really good. The sounds, the music, they have like the music kind of playing in the background and stuff that was made specifically for this game. It still brings you into the theme of Toy Story, even though it's themed to Toy Story 4 on the side, and it says Toy Story 4 here. The characters are still there. Everyone's still going to recognize this. Even if you didn't watch Toy Story 4, as soon as you come up to this machine, you're going to see Buzz, you're going to see Woody, you're going to see other characters that you recognize. When I add the rest of the toys on the Playfield that are from Toy Story 1, in the mod that I was telling you guys about, you're going to see even more characters on here that you recognize from Toy Story 1. So, yes, I would have loved to see 1 through 4, but I still get the nostalgic feeling playing this game, and I still get the Toy Story feeling because it's still Toy Story. I still hear the music. I still hear, you know, Buzz talking. I still hear Woody talking, and you still get that, you know, that presence of playing Toy Story, which is at the end of the day what I cared about the most. So I understand that people want 1 through 4. I would have loved it too, but it doesn't deteriorate me from getting this table and loving it as much as I do. But yeah, guys, that was my full-on overview and first impressions of this machine here that I just got. Like I said, what a roller coaster of a ride. Didn't expect this to be in my house so soon. I got a lot of work to do between now and September to get my finances in order to get that virtual pinball machine in here in September. But really, really excited to have this as part of my collection. Like I said, it will probably never leave unless if I see another Disney themed, you know, Toy Story 1 through 4 that they ever do one day, which is highly unlikely considering they just did this. But it would have to be something like that because I'm a huge Disney fan. It matches my theme perfectly. It's my favorite Pixar movie of all time, so it's going to have to take something great for me to swap it out. As you can see, I don't have room to add another machine. Even if I got rid of at games like I showed you guys with the top bar and that pipe going through, I can't fit a full size like this right next to here in the middle. It would never happen. And I'm not going to get rid of my, you know, my full virtual pinball machine that I'm getting in September because that lets me play every other table. You're never going to be able to fit, you know, 1,000 pinball machines in your house. So the fact that I could have one that really speaks to me on the theme and speaks to me on my childhood and stuff, and then have, you know, a virtual pinball machine that lets me play every other table in existence as close as possible is kind of the sweet spot for me. That's kind of how I look at these 3 machines right now. Toy Story is the one that, you know, gives me the feeling of playing a real pinball machine, which is awesome to have. The At Games is like an Xbox. It lets me play games that are specifically on At Games that I can't play anywhere else, like the natural history tables and some of the other tables that they're coming out with later. And then, of course, then we left off with the virtual pinball machine that lets me play every table that you can think of that you're not going to be able to fit every single one in your house as close as possible because, you know, with all the toys that that thing's going to have, it's going to make it feel as real as virtual pinball can feel. So I feel like I got the perfect lineup here, and I think these are the 3 ones that I would always have in the lineup. Obviously, if I could fit 4 of real pinball and you know, like other people, 5, 6, whatever, maybe as time goes on, but it's just not possible, and I like the way everything else is, and I like, obviously have different passions for different things like VR, like board games behind this, and other arcade games. So for me, this is the perfect 3 lineup, and I don't think I'll ever look for another one. I know a lot of people love to say, oh, once you get 1 real pinball, you're going to want more. Yeah, in theory, in my head, I'm like, damn, I would love to have 4 or 5 of these, but it's not going to be enough for me to like rearrange like this basement as far as, you know, after playing this and stuff. I feel like I'm going to have the perfect 3-person lineup to kind of fit the needs of what I'm looking for. And like I said, these things are expensive, and I don't want to have like 6 of these and always maintaining 6 different ones and stuff like that with the mechanical part. So I feel like 1 is the perfect one, and having the other 2 lets me play everything else underneath the sun. But obviously, that's just my opinion. People are going to have different opinions. If I lived in a bigger home that the ceilings didn't matter and those ceilings were a lot higher and I had the space to have more of these because the ceilings weren't blocking half of it, then maybe. because again, I can't use the topper on here either, which is a big selling point of the collector's edition model. But you know, the ceilings don't let me use it. But to wrap this up, guys, I love this machine. It's the perfect theme for me. And I love, you know, how much fun it is. And I love the call outs that you hear from, you know, the voice actors and stuff while you're playing. You know, from Woody, from Buzz, from Bo-Peep. I love seeing all the characters on the playfield. I can't wait to add some other ones from the figurines I'm going to have. So every time you're playing it, you feel like you're looking at all the characters that you know and love. I love the camera feature that takes pictures. It's something that you don't see all the time on this while you save your high scores, which makes the game, again, more fun, which is about this carnival theme that this game has, is kind of in line with that. Adding the camera, I think, adds more fun to it, taking pictures and stuff like that, and seeing players on there, which is obviously a cool addition to this. I love the mirrored back glass, collector's edition. I love the red trimming and stuff. Even though blue is my favorite color, and that's what the LE model has, I'm actually really loving the red in person. It really has a nice sparkle to it, and it matches the playfield, and it just looks really, really good with the T-molding here in red. The artwork on the side is really good. The Invisiglass that they used is amazing. The giant back glass is great. The toys that are in here are fun. Like I talked about, yes, there's not as many toys as maybe some other companies put in their games for different things like Godzilla and stuff, but that doesn't stop this to having its own toys in here and its own fun, its own carnival atmosphere. Different games are going to have different features, and I'm really, really liking this machine. And as a person who loves virtual pinball, the fact that you get to play a little virtual pinball of Tiki Multi-Ball is kind of cool. And, you know, adds that element to the machine that a lot of other tables don't have, that you're actually playing virtual pinball machine into this. Real pinball players probably don't care about that because they're like, that's taking up too much room. But for me, it's like, oh, cool, look, it's like playing virtual pinball machine on a real pinball machine. It's kind of a cool little thing. But yeah. I can't say anything else about this machine. I think you guys have a pretty good overview and my first impressions on it. Again, look forward to future videos like mods and more gameplay as I go through this and stuff like that, show you guys different modes. But super happy to add this to the collection. Stay tuned, especially for September when we add that third one to the lineup. That there's going to be a lot to talk about with that machine. I can't wait to reveal who that's coming from and what that machine has and everything, because it's going to be epic and I'm super excited. And let me know down in the comments, like I mentioned in this video, how I should line these up and how you guys would kind of prefer to have that lineup kind of being shown off. I'd love to hear. So, and if you think there's any mods out there that are must-dos, even though I already said that I'm not doing anything crazy, but if you think there's something out there I haven't seen that's a must-do for this machine, let me know that as well. If not, guys, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.